All right, here we go. We have a New Orleans music OG in the building. Lil Ya of the legendary group UNLV, one of the original groups signed to Cash Money. Welcome to Vlad TV.
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Hey man, pleasure to finally sit down with you. You know, we've been talking about doing this now for a few months and we finally made it happen.
Yeah, almost a year now, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But we finally got it to actually click.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our first time actually talking. So I want to get into your whole story. So you grew up in New Orleans.
Right.
Okay. What was New Orleans like in the 80s?
I mean, it was more love than anything. I mean, it was poverty, rough times, and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, it was a great place to grow up in. When the crack epidemic hit, like around the mid '80s, early '80s, you know, a lot of things changed. You know, a lot of parents and like people related to our friends or whatever got on drugs, and some of our family members got on drugs, and it was a difference then. But overall, it was a lot of love, man.
Okay. So as you saw the neighborhood start to change and cracks start to hit, suddenly you had an economy for guys to start making a lot of money on the street.
Right.
But with that came the violence. And I remember when I interviewed Juvenile just recently, when I asked what was it like growing up in New Orleans, his answer was murder, murder, murder. He said he had seen every type of murder. He had seen his friends killed. It was just an absolute mess. So was that similar to the type of things you were seeing?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, a lot of murder was going on, but the difference between now and then, people was getting murdered over, things that they fucked up, you know what I'm saying? They really done something they didn't have no business doing or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Versus now, they killing for a name, you know what I'm saying? That type of murder didn't go on back in the days.
Okay. And you yourself, growing up in this type of environment, how much did you get mixed up into the streets yourself?
Oh, well, my father was a street dude from Chicago. He moved to New Orleans. My mom was blue collar. I had rules to follow. I was a fortunate one that grew up with both parents in the home with me. I had rules. I knew about rules and morals. You know what I mean? The things that I did on the street, I chose to do,
Okay. Now, Tec-9, that's your brother with two different mothers, right?
Actually, that's my best friend. We like brothers,
Okay, so you guys aren't actually
we're not blood brothers. Right.
Okay. And Yella grew up around you as well.
Yes. Yella grew up around the corner from my house. We've been friends since like 2 years old, like babies, actually babies.
Okay. And so you guys are growing up together. And I guess the music starts around 11 years old?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so what made you guys want to start doing music together?
Well, me and Tec met in the 7th grade at a middle school called Carter G. Woodson, and we both was in the band. So, my uncle actually influenced us to start rapping because we didn't have rap on our mind. We just both had a love and a big passion for music. And when, my uncle just was telling us about rapping, we was starting to listen to rap music and stuff like that, we decided, let's do this. And like I said, the crack hadn't came out or whatever, so we decided, we young, we gonna rap about something positive. We had my little sister, she was 3 years old at the time. We put her in the group. We went by the name of the Sporty MCs at the time. And we won every talent show in the city, you know what I mean, at 12 years old. So that was the beginning of our rap era.
Okay, so you guys come out as the Sporty MCs.
Sporty MCs.
And you guys are doing positive Sporty MCs, right? And you guys are doing positive raps.
Right.
And everything else like that. And at one point, there's a guy named Everlasting Hitman who has since passed away. And I guess he was one of the first ones that was doing gangster rap in New Orleans.
Well, he was actually doing gangster. Yep. I would say gangster rap.
Okay. And with that, did that kind of inspire you guys to sort of switch your subject matter and change your name?
Most definitely, most definitely. I mean, Hitman definitely was one that inspired us to get back in the game and start back doing our thing, because we stopped rapping from like maybe 14 to the age of 18, simply because we won WYLD talent show, and WYLD was the biggest radio station in New Orleans. And we was promised, and we won a contract to actually record a song, and it never happened. So we was like, man, that rap shit ain't real. We gonna leave that alone, you know what I'm saying? So years later, we got back in it. And dudes like Everlasting Hitman, you had what? Juvie was doing it. You had DJ Jimmy, you know, and Gregory D, you know, people that we really knew, and they had cut records, you know what I mean? So we was like, we got skills already, man. We jump back in this shit. It seems like it's real now. You know, we changed our name, told my little sister she gotta chill, and, you know, went by the name of UNLV.
Which stands for?
Uptown Niggas Living Violent. Niggas like never ignorant, getting goals accomplished, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's
like
what the
Tupac
nigga
said.
stands for, right.
Okay. And by that time, you know, by 1994, New Orleans was like the murder capital.
No doubt.
How bad was it at that point?
What you mean, the city itself?
Yeah.
Every day you waking up hearing about somebody, you know, getting killed, man. Throughout the day, you know, you hearing gunshots. Oh, man, it was a ridiculous time. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the music was picking up in our city. You know, a lot of different artists was coming about and, you know, coming to the forefront, you know, making noise. And we was one. We sold like 250,000 copies.
Right. We're going to get into that part of the story. I just want to focus on how you guys sort of, you know, got to these next few points. So you guys renamed yourself to UNLV, and it was you, Yellow Boy, and Tec-9.
Right.
At the time, was Cash Money Records already around?
Yeah, Cash Money was around. We never heard of them at that time, but mid '92 is when we went. You know, we met with them, but we never heard of the company until we actually met them. Make sense? You know
Okay. Did you know about Birdman at the time? Was he like a known guy in the neighborhood?
Well, he was
really?
known, but I never knew him. I never knew him. My sister went to school with him, but I never knew him.
Okay. And how did you guys actually meet?
Well, we met through a guy named Kevin. You know, we were selling tapes on the street. We missed that part, whatever, but we were selling tapes on the street, and Birdman and Slim got a tape. I don't know where they got a tape from, but they contacted this guy named Kevin, which was a friend of the producer that produced Another Bitch, which was our first single. And he told Kevin that he wanted to have a meeting with us. And they set the meeting up. And we went to the office and actually sat down with him.
Okay. And did you guys sign right away?
Nah, we didn't sign right away.
Okay, so what made you guys sign?
Maybe like about 3 weeks later, we signed the contract.
Okay. Can you say how much it was for?
It wasn't a signing bonus for it. It was like our first contract was actually like a 2-album deal, and it was a little more than the standard artist percentage. I think it was like
so basically it was just more of an
something.
opportunity to just put out projects.
Right.
Okay. And at the time, who else was on Cash Money?
Kilo G, and I'm not sure if PMW was signed at the time, but I know PMW came right around that time we got there. We was the first group signed, but Kilo G was the first artist.
Okay. And Mannie Fresh was already there.
Yeah. He actually didn't do any production on Kilo G music. We was the first artist that Cash Money had that he worked with. He was in-house already, but he never really produced anything.
Okay. When you first heard Mannie Fresh, did you see the musical genius already, or did it take a little while to develop that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Mannie's name had been ringing for years, you know what I'm saying? Before I even heard of any Cash Money or whatever, I knew of a Mannie Fresh, you know? But yeah, he had his respect from us before we even met him.
Right. And I guess the first album, you actually recorded it in Mannie Fresh's kitchen, sitting on crates.
Exactly. Six and Barone was recorded in Mannie Fresh kitchen. One microphone, we passing the microphone, we sitting on crates. And, you know, company generated more money to get better, you know, put us in better studios as we went along.